Hello everyone, how's it going? So today we have another game that's going to be completely buried by next year. So this is Anthem. This was a live service game being developed by BioWare, and it was supposed to be the next Destiny in a lot of ways, even though it was never supposed to be that way. We'll get more into that later. It was actually almost like saying Voldemort in BioWare when they were working on this game that you couldn't even say Destiny. But either way, this game is going offline. Now, a lot of this is surprising for people because a lot of people thought that this game lasted a lot longer than we thought it would. I mean, it lasted longer than Concord, X Defiant, a lot of other games that had a lot larger numbers than this title, but good on EA for keeping it around as much as they could. But as of January 12th, 2026, they're going to end the entire game. So in about 180 days, that means any type of currency that you currently have in this game, you have to use it by that date. And I'm surprised they still had microtransactions in this game, to be honest, even though it is a live service game that has been long dead, but that's just kind of how it is. Now, what's really concerning is that game servers will be unavailable as of January 2026, and the game will no longer be playable. Anthem was designed to be an online-only title, so once the service goes online, the game will no longer be playable. So if you have a physical edition, like I do, there were so many physical editions out there that they were literally selling it for 99 cents at GameStop. They were giving them away, and I saw there were even some people who were going into giant trash dumps, or like, you know how Amazon throws stuff away in these giant trash dumps? If you don't know about that, I highly recommend you look it up on YouTube. It's actually pretty interesting. But also behind GameStop and Target and stuff, people were posting videos of finding full copies of Anthem in the trash bin, similar to Forspoken, where people were finding like steel books in literally the trash. But yeah, I actually did get the steelbook edition. I paid for Anthem full price. Yeah, sucker like me. But I enjoyed the game, but I have to say it was a crappy live service. The game had potential in the gameplay side. Like, the gameplay was very well received by a lot of people. It was just like everything else about the game that was misleading. Just like the vertical slice trailer, which I'm sure if I play it, they'll copyright claim me, but there was a trailer for the reveal of Anthem, and even the developers at BioWare didn't know that was their game. They were like looking at it and say, man, that game looks incredible. What game is that? And it said Anthem. They're like, wait, we're working on that game? So that should give you an idea of how terrible this game's development was. But I can say from experience, I played this game without a lot of people unless I was forced to, because the servers were crap when the game launched. Now, this game is entirely possible to play offline in single player. Like, rarely do you need a team. Like, yeah, it makes things super easy, but you can play this entire game by yourself, so it's very confusing why they're doing this, where you can just make it offline. Yes, if you previously purchased Anthem, the game can still be downloaded from your digital library, currency, all that stuff. But yeah, and it will also be removed from EA playtest on August 15, 2025. So it's just like, I like how they add this didn't lead to any layoffs, because right now Microsoft laid off like 9,000 people, and they laid off a lot of people after Dragon Age The Veilguard failed, which Mass Effect 5 is basically BioWare's last chance, and even though all the talent has left, I have faith, because I want Mass Effect to succeed, even though all the cards are saying that they're not. But either way, Anthem was just such a huge disaster. There's a great article by Jason Schreier about how much of a disaster this game is. I already went into like detail about the vertical slice, but what really gets me is this right here, where people actually had a closet where they would go in to just cry. That's how bad this game's development was. It caused emotional and physical pain to the point that people quit the studio or just left and just couldn't take it anymore. It was that stressful and destructive on people's psyche. And the thing is Anthem wasn't a failure. It was a failure of a live service game because they canceled the entire update they were working on. They were working on a No Man's Sky Star Wars Battlefront 2 level of revival, and they canceled that outright. And even though they canceled that, they still kept the game's servers online for people who wanted to play it. But like I said, the game actually sold very well. No, I don't want to sign up. No, I don't want you to know my location. Yeah, the game sold 5 million copies. That is insane. Like, this was a brand new IP, and yeah, it did incredibly well, and it was still a failure because it was supposed to be a successful live service game that would rival Destiny or Warframe, and it just didn't come out of that. Like, if they made this a single player game, or even just a Borderlands like game where it's single player but you can invite people alongside you, probably would have been received a lot better. But that's a what if scenario, and we have to look at the facts that happened. And I know a lot of people are going to point to the Stop Killing Games petition, which we reached 1 million signatures. Congratulations. But we also have to hit the overdrive mark, because there are a lot of people who probably signed this petition using VPNs, duplicate signatures, all that stuff. But it does directly link to the whole Stop Killing Games movement, because this game can be played single player. As far as I know, I played the game from start to finish, and I played several raids. There is literally no reason why this game can't be, for example, your peer-to-peer, where you just connect to someone else's game and just play it like that, like Team Fortress 2 or something like that. Or create private servers using Steam. I don't know if this game is on Steam. No, it's not on Steam. Like, that would be actually a good idea. Just put it on Steam and make it $5, and people can, create private servers or connect with one another that way. Like, I don't think that's outright just malicious or that hard to do it for the community, even if it's just like a handful of people who want to play this game. It's the idea of just gaming history where people's hard work it's just going to be removed. That's one of the number one things I do love about Stop Killing Games. It's the idea that, imagine if you worked years on something only to realize, hey, the publisher is just going to cut the cord and put that work down the toilet. It doesn't matter if it's the worst game in the world, like Big Rig's Over the Top Racing, or what's another terrible game, Duke Nukem Forever. Like, it doesn't matter. It should be preserved in some way that people can play it. And Steam usually offers an option for people to play older games like Psychonauts or Manhunt. Granted, Manhunt needs a lot of mod support, but there is a large community out there of people who enjoy these types of games, who are willing to put in effort to support them. There are a bunch of games from older titles like Phantasy Star Online, I believe Command & Conquer, one of the third-person RTS games. I can't remember which one of the Command & Conquer games. It's entirely supported by fans, and why not just flip that switch? You would win a lot of social credibility here. Like, EA's reputation's in the toilet, so even if they just say, hey, single player online, play the game by yourself, you want to go peer-to-peer, do that. I think that's not too much to ask for. And if you have a physical edition of the game, I think that should be enough. If you could just pop it into your Xbox or PlayStation and just play it outright. But yeah, it's just another piece of gaming history, and a lot of people put their hearts and souls in this game. Like I said, this game was such a terribly developed title that it caused people to cry, but that doesn't mean their hard work should just be removed from history. Like, it should be available for everyone to play, even in the most minute way. I know there was an argument made by Pirate Software where he said it will never reach the same apex of when it first released. Well, obviously not. Not everyone's still playing games like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy VII, Halo Combat Evolved, Super Mario 64 to the same caliber of when those games first came out. Games tend to go up, then they go down after years of other games coming out. It's just life. It's true for any product out there, in video games, movie, music, whatever. Things go down in popularity as time goes on because people want the flashy new things, but it doesn't mean that stuff like this should be erased completely. So, yeah, that's Anthem. It's about to go offline. Survived longer than Concord and X Defiant, and it was definitely one of those games that could have been great, but, mismanagement, constant reshoots of the game, emotional breakdowns, just a lot of stuff went on. Like, I feel like after Mass Effect 3, BioWare went downhill. Like, the coin of BioWare magic came from Dragon Age Inquisition, after that game was essentially developed in 1 year and was a big improvement from Dragon Age 2, but because of that, it just doomed the studio. It's like almost every game that BioWare did after, like, Dragon Age Origins was filled with horrible development schedules and just mismanagement. If you look at all the games they developed, like Mass Effect 3, it's just like, what the hell happened? Just let the people cook. They made an incredible success first time. Just let them do that again. Don't rush them. Let them do what they need to do. Granted, Anthem did kind of meet the hammer down because I highly recommend you read this article. In a lot of ways, EA was actually pretty civil with them, but they kind of was just kind of like, it's just mismanagement at BioWare. Like, I don't like to give EA a lot of credit or like leeway, but in this case, based on this article, they actually were pretty patient with the people who are developing Anthem. So it's not entirely on them. This, however, is on them. They should, offer some sort of way to play this game. Either way, that's it for me. I've rambled on enough. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And if you're in the EU, please sign the petition. This is something I do strongly believe in, because let's face it, video games should be preserved. I am a strong advocate of that. I believe that there are works of art that should be preserved in some shape or form for people of the next generation to play. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, goodbye. Have a good day. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, or don't. It's up to you. Bye.